Welcome back to the FreeMindsFestival. I'm your keynote speaker, Garcia. We are all living in what feels like the Matrix, right? And I'd do the Matrix right now if I weren't in these shoes, but they ain't made for that. A million challenges are coming at us all at once. But just for a minute, I want you to put aside your desire to focus on life's challenges and go on a journey with me. Because it's time to focus on solutions. Solutions for ourselves and solutions for others. Time is the greatest resource that we've been given. It is the only thing that is unrenewable. You can never get it back. Imagine at the end of your life, you're standing before your Creator, and He asks, what did you do with your time? How did you use the time that I gifted you each day to be a purposeful being? Did you make your time count? How faithfully did you tend to the dreams that I sowed into your soul? Or did you just choose to focus on all of the challenges? The best way we can utilize the greatest resource we've been given is to do 3 things, and I'm going to share those with you today. Number 1, don't ignore why you were placed on this earth in the first place. I want to challenge you to take time to understand your purpose. I didn't really know what purpose meant for a very long time. And unfortunately, it took a tragedy in my life to bring me to a place that I said, I need to figure out what that purpose is and make sure that I am living in it every single day. I felt called to do something different after experiencing a really bad situation. So I'm going to encourage you to not wait until you go through something, even though I do believe that God always gives us beauty for ashes. I want you to be proactive, step out on faith, and figure out what you're called to do in this world. I learned more about what other people needed than what I really needed myself going through this process. And so I know that I'm called to do something different. I know that I'm called to impact lives. And I know that God just interrupted me in the life that I was living to make sure that I understood that I was specifically sent here to do something that would leave a lasting impact and a legacy forever. Number 2, strive to manifest greatness in your life, starting with harmonious living. And I don't mean the kind of harmony that comes from a song. I don't mean the kind of harmony that comes from you seeing what other people do and gleaning from that. I'm talking about that internal harmonious living, the one that comes from having a balance in your health, mind, body, and spirit. It's time for us to take our mental health just as seriously as we take our physical health. It's really simple for us to think about physical health, but we have to take time to deal with the things that impact our mind. Depression, anxiety, dealing with grief from the loss of a loved one. Right now, a lot of people are experiencing that, and I want to encourage you to make sure that you are taking the time to actually sit in those feelings, process how you're feeling, and deal with that very important loss that you've experienced. We are all really good at taking care of our bodies when something goes wrong, right? If you break an arm, you put a cast on it. If you break a leg, you put a cast on it. There's no way for us to do that for our mental health, but we have to start being more proactive about making sure that we are taking care of our bodies and our minds and our spirits absent of trauma. What we eat and what we consume is so very important. I remember feeling very lethargic and just not a lot of energy. I was experiencing some pain and didn't know where it was coming from. And I decided to go on a plant-based diet. And guess what? Feel those things anymore. I don't have food coma anymore. I know that what I'm consuming has a direct correlation to how I'm feeling, and I make a concerted effort to make sure that what I'm putting in my body is going to produce what I want to feel on the outside. Take the time, figure it out. What works for you? Because what works for me may not be the same, but what works for you, you can learn by trial and error. Just make sure that you do the work to figure that out. The last thing I'm going to say about mind, body, and spirit is to make sure that you get connected to whatever you get energy from. Whatever that source of energy that feeds your soul, make sure you're connected to it. Make sure that's what you're leaning on. Make sure that that's what you're digging into, especially in those moments where you need it most. Last but not least, there are so many unjust issues in the world right now. Whatever side of the issue your heart pulls you to, follow it, advocate for it, and activate yourself and others to make progress and move forward. Which brings me to my last point. Do something today that your future self will thank you for. Whether that's a peaceful protest, asking questions at a town hall, voting in an election, whatever it is for you, do something. Make a difference. My grandfather used to say, don't talk about it, be about it. And I believe it's time for all of us to do just that. One person can make a difference. It's not your title that makes you a leader. It's the impact and the influence that you can have. So be the change, manifest your own greatness, and create a world that makes us proud to be part of it. The time is now. The time is for you to do it now. The time is for me to do it now. And right now is the time for us to do it together.